Was the Bible produced by the powerful? Sort of. Not really. We've got an Undeceptions instant expert for you. Christopher Watkin is a senior lecturer at Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, and he researches the big ideas that have shaped philosophy and literature. He points out that as early as 1842, French writers were claiming that history is always written by the victors. And those clever French were partly right. The winners are usually the ones left holding the sword and the pen, except in the case of the Bible. Uniquely, Christian scripture offers history from below.
The term comes from Richard Bauckham, the biblical scholar, and I, like you, found it really, really helpful. So his idea is that in ancient writing, theatre and sort of all ancient texts, it's almost always about the rich and powerful. And if you want to do serious emotion, you do it with kings. I think Oedipus Rex, Antigone, something like that. It's the leaders of the nation who have the proper emotions. And he says when you get what you might call ordinary people, labourers, appearing in these plays, they're always comic characters. And if they cry, for example, it's always parody. It's always, you laugh at their tears because you can't take these people seriously. And he says that what we find in the Gospels is the emotional weight of tragedy in the lives of normal people. So an example that he uses is Peter, once he's denied Christ and 3 times, and then he goes out and weeps. He says those are not parodic tears. We're not laughing at Peter. He's got all the weight of a tragic hero, but he's not a king. He's a fisherman. And so history is being sort of taken out of this, if you like, elite enclave, and a fisherman is being given the dignity of a king. And what's more, it's these fishermen and their friends who end up writing this history. And he says that just doesn't happen in the ancient world. It's rich and important and posh people who get to write the history, not the labourers. And so he's saying something fundamentally different is happening. History is getting written from below. It's your Peters and your Johns that are writing the New Testament, not your Caesars. I think there's a so what for God and there's a so what for us. And I think the so what for God is that it's just one more piece of evidence that he really cares for everybody. He's not just a God of the kings and the great warriors. You think about ancient culture that this was sort of written into. You've got your Iliad and your Odyssey. They're about these wonderful heroes that nobody can match up to. And history is written about Caesar. And there's again, there's where are the ordinary people in there? And the fact that God puts these fishermen and labourers at the centre of his history, I think, is making a powerful point about these are important. I am a God who cares not just for people in palaces, but people on the riverbank as well. And I think the point that it makes for us is that, well, if God is really concerned about everybody and shows that by who he chooses to be his disciples, then we similarly ought not to try and always be scrambling up the social ladder as far as we can get. How close can I get to the kings? Well, that's being very ungodlike. It's how can we as a church also care for the sort of people that God seems to be choosing in these histories. So it's important for us as well.
If you've enjoyed the chance to become an instant expert, then you'll find much more, plus a bunch of other informative videos over at the Undeceptions YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Undeceptions. See ya.